What's up? This is Johnny Bass here at FloTrack with my friend Zach Pogrob, a incredible athlete, writer, man of many talents, visiting Austin for the BPN Last Man Standing, which was this past weekend. So Zach, first and foremost, how are the legs feeling after 100 miles?
We're good. The legs are overall not that sore. It's just my foot's a little messed up. My knee's a little messed up as a result, but they'll heal. And got some sleep and feel honestly the first day.
Yeah.
Today's Thursday and the race was Saturday to Sunday. Today's the first day I feel mentally like not mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Well, that's a great start, I'd have to say. So I think it was all over social media this weekend, the last minute saying. Could you maybe explain to the folks who didn't see what exactly went down?
Sure. So yeah, the race was BPN Go More Ultra. Technically, it had some. It was a last man standing race. It was a backyard ultra, which is a format of race started, I think, around 2015. This one technically didn't follow a few of the rules. Like it had cooling stations on the course, which technically wouldn't be allowed. But overall, it followed this format, which is a 4.2-mile loop every hour. And every hour it restarts, and it goes until there's one runner left. Last man standing.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
And you would clearly be a good man for this challenge, right? Because you're known to go out and run 3 loops of Manhattan. You definitely have some experience with kind of these long distance races. How did you think you were going to do going into it?
Yeah, I don't have that much experience, like I really don't. Like I've done a few of those crazy runs, and Johnny's referencing, I've done the Loop of Manhattan a few times, and then 3 weeks before this race, I did 100 miles around New York.
Yeah.
But I think I ran about 82 of the miles, and the overall pace was like a 17:30 pace when you count in all the rest.
Yeah.
So it's pretty slow. That's too slow to do this race and stay in the race.
Yeah, what do you have to hit to make it?
I think it's like 14 something. I think I forget. But no, I felt okay going to this race because of that practice. But I was not the most fit I've ever been. Not the most dialed. Didn't get the most training in because I've been working on this app called Aura, which I've been telling you about.
Yeah.
But I felt confident that I could go pretty far, and I did well considering that. So. Yeah.
I always feel like your mental game is kind of what sets you apart, though, and able to kind of go into a deep place. Like, do you think this is something you would want to try again?
Right now, yeah. Like I don't want to commit publicly to anything like too soon after a race, because like right after a race, like I know you know how it is. Like sometimes, I mean, some people are like, I'm never doing that again. Right. A lot of people said that after this past weekend.
Right.
Versus me, my first reaction was like, when's the next one?
Right.
When I'm ready. And so like we'll see. Right now, it sounds really fun to do another one of these at the end of the year, and then run it back next year, same one.
You've done marathons as well. Like where how do you think this one, an ultra marathon or a last man standing sort of race, is different or better or worse than like a marathon or faster?
I think the best way I can explain it is running a fast marathon is 100% more physically painful, and running these ultra marathons is definitely more mentally painful. Mm-hmm. It's like interesting, right? Because like the physical pain is mental, but it's much more like of a physical sensation versus the last man standing is very much a mental. And but there's still a massive physical component. Like my body 100% hit my limit for this race, or I believe it did hit very close to its limit. And
but you like that? That's
what
you live for.
You want that, but like people. I'm doing these races, and I'll tell you, a marathon's more painful.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you, a fast marathon, or probably even like a fast half marathon, that is a different kind of pain. But this, for a certain type of person, I seem really attracted to the challenge of running very, very far.
It's going to the dark place.
But it's just different. It's like the reason I'm attracted to these is I like the feeling of being in survival mode. Yeah. I like the feeling of feeling like a wild animal, like just like scavenging food and being in the dark.
Yeah. Oh, because this race went around the clock. There was no stopping.
No stopping, and my favorite part was in the dark when you're just running with a headlamp, looking at your feet and like trying to survive.
Right. And let me see. I think the way it ultimately ended was 2 guys made it to 243.
200. It might have been 50, like around there. Yeah, and they went over 100 miles plus from anyone else. So they were by far the best athletes mentally and physically there.
Yeah. And it left on a cliffhanger. They had to cancel it because of thunderstorms, right?
Correct. Yep.
Called it a draw or at the top.
I was in those storms, and yeah, Nick Bear left it up to them to decide whether they were going to split it or resume. And you know what, they were both lying down. I was surprised actually. I thought one of them may have not wanted to split it.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? You lying down like there's two things. One, I think they're good sportsmen and they respected each other.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what, let's just split it. And the other aspect of it is you're lying down for the first time, like in a bed.
Yeah,
after
I don't want to get back up.
You don't want to get back up.
Yeah. And I think you said you were the only, like, pretty much everybody else went and rested up after they were done, but you wanted to be there through the whole thing.
Yeah, I went back the next day. I was like probably one of two. I was really for a while the only person there who was still there the next day watching.
Yeah.
And part of it was because my crew ended up crewing someone else,
Right.
but also like I wanted to do that. So that was part of it. I wanted to support the runners. I wanted to witness greatness.
Yeah.
But the selfish reason, which is part of it as well, is I just wanted to like prolong the suffering of the race as long as I could.
Yeah.
So I was telling you, which is a little sadistic, but like it actually is true. And I wanted to like I was out there like limping in pain, like kind of hungry and needed sleep.
So some people might ask why. Why would you want to extend that?
Because I want to come back and be better.
Yeah.
And I felt like the longer I could kind of stay in the survival mode a little bit, like when it started downpouring that storm, I just like walked out in it in like the slowest pace possible.
Yeah.
Like you'll probably see me in the video, and it's just like I'm just like still in the game. I wasn't running anymore, but I wanted to like stay in the game as long as I could.
Wow. So all in all, you good experience. Something.
Oh yeah, amazing to experience something like that.
You've obviously New York is a big part of your work and who you've been. That's where we met. But you've kind of been on the road lately, right? So
Yeah.
how have your travels been? What's it been like kind of getting out of New York, seeing these new places?
Yeah, I mean, you were in New York a bit, so I think my opinion on New York is you kind of need it, I think, for periods of your life. I think the city, like things I always say about it, is New York kind of sharpens you and hardens you to like this extreme version of yourself.
Right.
And you go there and it forces you to become that because you have to survive and you have to build. And it brings it out of you. But then eventually, I do think you get to a point where it almost doesn't serve you as much. Like you hit a sort of there's a plateau of that extreme, and like then it's like, okay, let me go to other places and like see how I operate there and what can I take from other places, right?
Yeah.
And so I went to San Francisco first for about 2 months, and that city taught me a lot as well, from just like the ambition there and then the nature there and the hills there in terms of training, and I took a lot from that city, and now I'm in Austin for a little bit, and I'm taking different things from here. So it's been good to be away.
And what are you focusing on right now? What are you working on?
Yeah, I'm focusing on this running app called Aura, which I've told you about a good bit. You've been hearing about it all day.
It's the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like the way I operate and what I believe is that when you have an idea you think will change the world, or you have something you're really passionate about, you should be literally willing to burn down everything and restart your entire life in pursuit of this idea. Yeah. And I think I've actually lived that. And so I've started working on this app about in February, and the short version of the app, what it's going to be at launch is it's an app to share your runs and share your workouts, and it's the coolest, quickest, simplest ways to share your runs on social media, essentially, in all different creative ways.
What did you feel like was missing in what's out there?
Yeah, I mean, I started because I noticed like everyone just sharing screenshots of their Strava, and every single run I followed, and then some people were like removing the background. They were using like CapCut to, add it to videos with a transparent overlay, and I'm just like, this is so unnecessary. It's so much work these people are doing just to post their workouts. And like content, you understand this, it's like a creative thing. Right. People want to express themselves. Something
I've liked that you said, artist, athlete, entrepreneur, and maybe introducing some of that artist aspect to the
athletics. Yeah, I think a lot of athletes have a big creative side as well. Yeah. And so it's just like crazy to me there was no tooling around it, and it's been interesting to watch Strava kind of ship a few features giving runners easier ways to share their content, and I'm trying to just do that times a million. And that's I started before they started shipping those things, and I'm really excited. We're hopefully going to be in the App Store in around mid-June, and you'll be able to try it. And we have a beta now, which Johnny's on, and some people are really liking. So
you said you had 10,000 on the wait list, about several hundred or more.
About
testing it.
600, 700 on the beta. Yeah.
Feedback's been good.
Feedback's been great.
I for one use all my workouts.
Johnny,
to post that.
I love to see it. And our launch product I think is going to be a massive step up from the beta that you've been using.
Yeah.
And in terms of just smoothness and features. And I think, if you can build a thing that people love to share their runs with, we have a lot of ideas to build on top of that.
Right.
And to build a running app. And I could talk about it, or if you want to ask more specific questions, but there's a lot we're going to build on top of it to just improve the entire running experience.
Yeah, I guess maybe just at a high level, like what is your vision for what it might become, or ways that you'll grow it from there?
Yeah. So there's kind of like two taglines for the app. It's the two taglines for Aura, which one is in the bio right now. It's tools for athletic expression.
Yeah. Nice.
And which is kind of fancy lingo, but it actually is what it is. Athletic expression. I think sport and athletics is really a way like people kind of create themselves and like create who they are as a person and express themselves almost. And so like at a very distinct level, for now, Aura is an app that is literally that. It's a tool for expressing your runs on social media creatively.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to that, and like there's more from what I'm really interested in building for is, I kind of said to you, the A to Z experience of running. From A being you put your shoes on and you're going to go out for your run, to Z being like you finish your run, you look at your phone, my workout's there. I love seeing it on my phone. And then you're not thinking this, but it happens. Yeah. And then you're posting your run to social media. That's like Z, it's done after that. Yeah. That experience, and then obviously in there you're running, you're checking your pace, you're getting water, like there's all the things in there. That experience is what I want to build for. Right. I think there's a lot to do there. You asked me what is the big vision. So yeah, tools for athletic expression is part of it, and then a personal running app is kind of the other tagline. I think my whole thing is, I was saying this before, is when you get off social media and you get away from all like the influencer bullshit, right. All the people running together, looking shirtless and perfect and running in groups and run clubs, stop all that, step away. 99% of running is just people, in some suburb of Massachusetts, putting on shoes and putting on headphones and going out for a run alone. That is running to me, and majority of people, not just that person, but almost everybody. And so I think running is social. There's amazing social aspects to it, but the actual experience is very personal. And so I want to build things for that personal A to Z experience, and I'm excited to just create those things.
Yeah, man. Running is so much more than the physical acts. I think it's a channel. It's a way to think and clear your mind. It's good. It's honestly energizing, like to get out and like if you don't run for several weeks, you don't feel your best. I'm not thinking as clearly. So there's a lot of personal aspects, which I'm so glad like we get to experience that.
100%, yeah, and that's literally what I want to build for is all that stuff. Yeah. All the mental and creative things that come along with running, essentially.
I've always said like your words that you write resonate so much, and I think you've said that's you don't overthink that, like it's kind of something that just comes to you. But you see like running so you're in your writing, you apply running to like life, and how do you see it as kind of like bigger than just the act itself?
Yeah, like the way I view it is it's sort of like a tool for self-creation, which sounds like very buzzwordy, but it really is. It's like a thing you can do, and through it and through all the conversations you have with yourself while you're running, you not only change physically, but you completely change mentally. And it's almost like you're out there being your own personal therapist, I think. Yeah. And if you do the ultra running, you spend a lot of time with yourself. And that's how I view it, as just a tool to like become whatever person you want to be. If you want to be faster, if you want to be, more durable and run longer, like, and then it just takes such discipline, such commitment to run, to become a good runner, I think. That energy becomes an addiction. It becomes a drug, and it's hard to operate without it. And that's what I mean. It's like it just changes how you operate as a human. But for me, like I was not in a great place in my life when I got more into running, like 2 years ago, and 2.5 years ago, and I just let it consume my life and let myself every run just talking to myself, telling myself to push more. Yeah. And then, 2 years later, I'm like running fucking 100 miles twice a month.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not the same person anymore.
Yeah. No,
But it's not a long amount of time either.
No, it's transformative.
Yeah.
What do you think of people that will peg you as like a face of running? Despite being so new to it, do you accept that?
I would never accept that. I don't think that's accurate.
What do you think you're bringing though? Maybe that's different. Like,
I think I could be. Like, I would love to be one day.
yeah.
I don't think I deserve any of that yet. Maybe if I was one of these kids who did the 250 miles in the race, they might deserve it.
I guess what's cool about running is there's always somebody better.
Yeah, always.
When they're striving for the next thing.
But I would like to be an example of people to just like, what I always push people is just go rip a marathon. Don't train for it. Just go outside tomorrow. And I'm not encouraging you to run a marathon without training.
Sure.
I'm encouraging you to like question the limits you have in your mind of like what a marathon is.
Yeah.
And instead of framing a marathon as a marathon, frame it as, dude, I'm just running for like 4 or 5 hours.
What's been the best like story from folks? Because I see you've put those sort of challenges out. What's the coolest or most like extreme thing you've heard back from the audience?
Oh man, a lot of just like first marathons. Nothing is like standing out specifically. Nothing's staying on my brain right now specifically. There were a few though. There was someone who ran, I think, a lap of Manhattan, which is cool. Mm-hmm. I don't know, just so many people who are just doing this for the first time, long distance.
That's what I feel like I've noticed. Yeah, like a lot of people saying they've done something for the first time that they would never consider that they could just go. You just
need to give them the concept.
Yeah.
That you could just go rip this stuff.
Yeah.
The first 100-miler I did, I swear on my life, I didn't commit to it until 7 p.m. the night before.
Yeah.
I'd only run 50 miles, and it was last summer, and like that is
and
like.
Where's your head going? Like as you're stepping outside and you're like, oh, okay, I'm doing 100 here.
I think part of this, my mental strategy, is I kind of sabotage myself with lack of preparation, because it lets me have less like dread.
Yeah, I've heard.
I'm being serious.
Dread, yeah.
I'm being serious, and like even the race week, I didn't prep well at all, and part of it is because I was working hard on my app, but part of it also I think was just sabotaging myself because I like don't want to dread it, even though this one I knew it was coming. But yeah, no, the mental side is just like the way I think of it is you should go on an adventure. A long adventure.
Yeah.
And I have a lot to learn with the mental side for these actual last man standing races. There's the big difference I think between me and the guys who won, or meet them and all the other competitors is they weren't thinking in terms of competitors at all.
Yeah. You told me that earlier. They weren't thinking about it
I got feedback from somebody anonymously, kind of. They actually messaged my crew, and they said. I think Zach, his problem was he was very worried about competition and like beating people, which I was because I'm just so competitive. Yeah. That's how I'm just like wired. Like I want to beat this person, but then that actually can have a bad thing because those people start dropping, or you want to drop around them, and then versus the people who really won, I think they just kind of settle into this concept of this is my life now. I'm going to do this until I die. Mm-hmm. And I don't care about anybody else. Yeah. And if I win, I win. Great. It means I'm the last person because I did this. Right. But you know what I mean? It's a stark difference versus like I'm going to beat this person. Sure. And I think for these types of races, yeah, the physical is a big piece. I could not have physically done what they did in my opinion. But I also mentally wasn't there either.
Right. Yeah, I think that's interesting. It's kind of like surviving versus kind of transcending that. Like it sounded like they were more on a personal journey versus stressing about who else was out there.
100%.
Which is interesting because I think you have so many incredible perspectives and thoughts that always resonate with. It sounds like maybe this taught you something.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing it taught me for this type of race, especially in terms of how you have to mentally go into it. Yeah. It's like it's competitive, but it's also like not. It's hard to explain. But you have to like frame it in your mind that it's just you going until you die. And if you go till you die, you either die or you win. Yeah.
Well, it seemed like a lot of fun. And,
it was so much fun.
It's gonna be seeing more of that. I think what was cool is that there was so much. You don't know how long it's gonna go. Like it's not a set distance, and you had a lot of big dogs out there, like. Who are known for endurance events.
Yeah, Chad Wright was there. Like a lot of big. He's done a lot of big ultra races. little out of the game now for a few years, but Truett Haynes was there, and
no genes though.
No genes, but like, you know what? Yeah, he struggled. He didn't get that far. He got like 2 more laps than me, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe more, but.
I think that's cool. Like that's very. I think it ending on a cliffhanger is maybe the best ending though, because
me too.
Wanting to with the question, and then we'll come back next year and see what happens.
I'm excited. I'll be back there next year.
Yeah.
As of now, and real excited for it.
So yeah, you're in Austin for another week. Your focus now is towards building this app and getting it out. Is that right?
That's it for now. Especially while I'm recovering. I probably won't run much for the next month. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I ran enough this month, and yeah, man, I'm really excited. It should be, like I said, in the App Store in June, and then the game really starts.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and your ideas with the world, and inspiring people all over. So keep having fun and keep doing it.
I will, man. Keep doing your work here. This is a sick setup. I appreciate the tour today.
Thanks for swinging by, man.
Yes, sir.
Come back anytime.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Good little pod.